Please rise to salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Where we enjoy the resources nature provides in a sustainable and responsible way.
Where world leaders put the well-being of the planet above politics.
Where innovation and technology is used to improve our lives, but not at the expense of nature.
I want to live in a future where my children can pursue their dreams without worrying about the extreme weather, pandemics, and food shortage.
I want to live in a future where we can all look back and know that we have done the right thing.
We are a part of nature, and nature is a part of us.
And nature provides us with everything we have and everything we need.
Yet we're emptying the very forests, oceans, and rivers that provide us life.
As we adapt our lives to deal with the greatest public health crisis of the century, we have opportunity to reset our relationship with nature and create a future where people and nature thrive together.
7,000 cities across the world are dimming their lights.
In the global Lights Out campaign.
The campaign involves people switching off their lights for an hour.
Raise awareness about climate change and the environment.
Earth Hour 2022 will be a key moment for us all to unite and show our resolve to shape a nature-positive future.
Join us on March 26th
at 8:30 p.m.
for Earth Hour.
Earth Hour.
Earth Hour.
And together, shape the future of our one and shared home.
In this make or break year, let your actions and voices send a clear message to leaders everywhere. Now is the time to be bold and ambitious. We all must do our part to safeguard our planet. Together, we can build a brighter and more prosperous future.
We must come together, from governments, businesses to every individual across society.
Let's come together to protect our planet.
Protect our one shared home.
When we come together, we can make a change.
Let's shape our future.
Let's shape our future.
Let's shape our future.
Let's shape our future.
Together possible.
Together possible.
Together possible.
We are in this together.
Good morning and welcome to RPtv. Today is Tuesday, March 22nd, 2022. Traffic patterns in Roselle Park are going to get a little more complicated as one main connection to Roselle is now closed. Cooper has the details.
Yesterday, Gordon Street Bridge in Roselle Park was closed as a project to replace it gets underway. That means drivers will have some detours as they try to get around town. The Union County project cost over $7 million, according to the New Jersey Department of Transportation. The new bridge will be wider to allow for a new left turn lane and one travel lane in each direction. The sidewalk on the east side of the new bridge will be 5 feet wide. New sidewalks, curbs, and ADA ramps will be installed and upgrades to utilities and drainage. The project is expected to be completed in the summer of 2023. Signs are up to notify drivers of all the changes to traffic patterns as a result of the work.
Now it's time for announcements. Garden Club's next meeting to be announced. We need to work outside to get ready for the new bunny pavilion built by Mr. Chin. Also, please save glass jars for our Mother's Day project we will work on during the next meeting date when it rains. Any seniors interested in being the 2022 Roselle Park High School Scholar Athlete, please see Mrs. Hahn in the athlete office for a nomination form. Forms must be completed and returned to Mrs. Costa by March 22nd. One male and one female scholar athlete will be selected to represent the Roselle Park High School as the 2022 Scholar Athlete. Polka, Spanish Club, and Art Club will be hosting a multicultural fashion show on Wednesday, April 6th at 4 p.m. You can purchase the tickets during the lunches in the library. Student cost is $2. The Roselle Park High School Theater Department is pleased to invite you to the 2022 Roselle Park High School Theater production of Willy Wonka. Our performances will be March 31st at 7:30 p.m., April 1st at 7:30 p.m., and two shows April 2nd at 1 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. Tickets are on sale now. Log on to showtixforyou.com to order your tickets. Anime Club is holding a spiritware sale. To place an order, see an Anime Club member. Cash or checks made payable to Roselle Park High School can be sent to Miss Amorso. All orders are due by the end of the day on April 7th.
Made with Clipchamp. Made with Clipchamp. Made with Clipchamp. Made with Clipchamp.
As the war in Ukraine continues to drag on, people around the world are trying to help the best they can. And now there's a big push for assistance in Union County. Alana has that report.
The continuing conflict in Ukraine has uprooted families, injured citizens, and left thousands of Ukrainian refugees without access to necessities. Over 2.5 million Ukrainian refugees have left their homes, leaving behind necessary supplies. To support individuals in need, the Union County Board of County Commissioners and the Union County Prosecutor's Office have partnered to organize a county-wide donation drive for the people of Ukraine. Locally, a donation drop-off box is available in the lobby of the Roselle Park Police Department. Donation boxes are available in the lobby of Union County law enforcement agencies, 24 locations total. Residents are invited to bring donations of first aid supplies, toiletries, flashlights, blankets, batteries, clothing, shoes, diapers, formula, and more. This program will run for the foreseeable future, as long as aid is needed. This donation drive is made possible through a partnership with law enforcement and local Polish and Ukrainian organizations.
Stay tuned, we will be right back. Thanks for watching, have a great day, and make sure to stay tuned for CNN 10.
Welcome to CNN 10. I've got a little more of my voice back today, and I'm happy to use it to bring you objective news. I'm Carl Azus. Another step is being taken in the U.S. Supreme Court confirmation process. Late last month, President Joe Biden nominated federal judge Ketanji Brown Jackson to fill an upcoming vacancy on the High Court. Associate Justice Stephen Breyer plans to retire in the months ahead. What's taking place this week is Judge Jackson's hearing before the Senate Judiciary Committee. This is a panel of 22 senators, 11 Democrats and 11 Republicans, who will have the chance to question the nominee this week and try to figure out how she'd rule on some of the most controversial issues in America. The committee will then hold a vote to decide whether the Senate should confirm or reject the president's nominee. It can also decide to issue no recommendation at all. After that, it's up to a simple majority of 51 out of 100 senators to determine whether the nominee gets a lifetime appointment to the Supreme Court. Democrats currently control the U.S. Senate. They and the two independents who vote with them hold 50 seats. Republicans also hold 50 seats. But if there's a tie with the 50 Republicans voting one way and the 50 Democrats voting the other, the vice president, who's a Democrat, casts the tie-breaking vote. That's why even though the seats are split 50-50, Democrats are said to be in control of the Senate. U.S. Supreme Court appointments are extremely important to America's two main political parties. Democrats generally want to appoint liberal justices, people likely to share their views on controversial issues. Republicans generally want to appoint conservative justices, people likely to share their views on controversial issues. Judge Jackson has previously worked as a public defender, something that none of the current Supreme Court justices has done. And while supporters have said that gives her empathy as a judge, critics have suggested Jackson may be soft on crime at a time when many parts of America are dealing with higher crime rates. So Judge Jackson will likely be questioned along those lines this week. Democrats hope to hold a vote on her nomination before April 11th, when Congress goes on recess over Easter and Passover.
Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson is no stranger to the Senate Judiciary Committee. She's gone through the Senate confirmation process 3 times for previous roles on her resume, but this time will be different. The Supreme Court is a lifetime appointment, and today's opening statements will likely give an indication of where senators plan to go with their questioning of her.
When President Biden nominated the first black woman to the Supreme Court last month, Ketanji Brown Jackson gave a nod to another trailblazer.
Today, I proudly stand on Judge Motley's shoulders, sharing not only her birthday, but also her steadfast and courageous commitment to equal justice.
Jackson referenced Constance Baker Motley, the first black woman to serve as a federal judge. Now Jackson is poised to inspire another generation of black women in law and shape the nation's highest courts.
For too long, our government, our courts, haven't looked like America.
But some areas of her legal career could draw scrutiny.
It'll be a respectful, deep dive into her record, which I think is entirely appropriate for a lifetime appointment.
As Jackson has made the rounds on Capitol Hill, GOP senators have indicated her time as a public defender will be one of those areas, including work representing detainees at the U.S. military prison at Guantanamo Bay, and her views on the role of race in the U.S. criminal justice system. Democrats will emphasize Jackson's credentials and character at a groundbreaking moment.
This is her 4th time before the Senate Judiciary Committee, and 3 previous times she came through with flying colors.
If you can envision the amount of land covered by 70,000 football fields, you can get a sense of how much ground in Texas has been burned by wildfires over the past week. In all, there have been 175 of these blazes, though only a handful of them have caused most of the damage. A complex of 7 fires, for instance, had burned over 54,000 acres by Monday. That's according to NBC News. And it was reportedly 30% contained, which means roughly a third of it had been blocked off and kept from spreading further. Firefighters are making progress, though. They say the Big L fire, which was less than 100 miles southwest of Dallas-Fort Worth, that was under control yesterday morning, and people in the nearby city of Lipan were allowed to return to their homes. At least 2 deaths, one of them in neighboring Oklahoma, have been blamed on the fires. Rain is in the forecast for some of the affected areas in Texas, which can help firefighters put out the blazes, but so are high winds, which can cause the fires to spread. Supplies are pouring into the European nation of Ukraine. We're talking about everything from drugs and healthcare aid to guns and military equipment. On Monday, the European Union reached an agreement to send an additional $551 million worth to the war-torn country. That's only a fraction of the billions the United States is sending to help supply the Ukrainian military and give relief to Ukrainian civilians. The nation's president is urging his people to continue their fight against the Russian military, which invaded the country almost 4 weeks ago. And even as Ukrainian cities increasingly show the scars of war, their people are getting support from distant parts of the planet.
From all over the world, boxes of donations, food, medicine and clothing, now piled high and being sorted by volunteers in a disused warehouse at the Polish town of Przemysl, not far from the border of Ukraine.
At the beginning I was really surprised that so many people want to help, but now I think I am used to it, how wonderful people are.
Donations that Ukraine desperately needs, loaded into vans to be taken to the border and then into the war-torn country. The land routes from Europe are now Ukraine's lifeline, the main roads humanitarian organizations use to bring in their much-needed supplies. And they are far from safe. One Ukrainian driver who didn't want to be identified sharing some of his drive and telling us of several close shaves.
I think we've kind of seen that civilian targets are not off limits in this crisis, and so that's a constant kind of issue in the back of most humanitarians' minds is how do we deal with the potential risk of directed attack? How do we ensure that our aid is seen as separate from, as we know, all of the military aid that's going into Ukraine?
Last week, Russia delivered a chilling warning.
Well, we clearly said that any cargo moving into Ukrainian territory, which we would believe is carrying weapons, would be a fair game.
On Thursday, the United Nations got its first convoy of aid into the heavily damaged town of Sumy, calling it a breakthrough for cities facing, quote, fatal shortages of food, water and medicine. And as the violence worsens, the need for medical supplies to help the wounded continues to grow, as does the West's determination to help. President Joe Biden signing $13.6 billion worth of aid only last week.
The bottleneck is not funds, because there has been a great deal of solidarity and generosity. So we now really need to step up the operational response inside the country.
In the knowledge that the longer the conflict lasts and the more the aid is needed, the more dangerous it will become to deliver.
10-second trivia. A bird of bad moral character was how Ben Franklin described what animal? Bald eagle, carrier pigeon, vulture, or turkey? In a letter to his daughter, the founding father criticized the eagle as being too lazy to fish for itself. Of course, the eagle still became America's national symbol, and now you get to name one. Well, anyone who donates between $10 and $50 can submit a name. Third graders in California, where the eaglet was born, will choose the winner from 35 randomly selected names. The chick's parents are called Jackie and Shadow, if that gives you an idea of the kind of name officials might be looking for. And while I'm not personally going to enter, I might suggest Chick Hicks, Jessica Beagle, Feather Time, Marty McFly, Nestor Holt, the Beaconator, Hawkeye, Jeff Prezos, Craggle Zeus, or anything other than Eagle McEagleface, although I could eagerly see that one being a winger. I'm Carl Zeus. Today's shout-out takes us to Ludlow, Kentucky, where we are happy to see our viewers at Ludlow High School, and thanks to everyone for taking 10 for CNN.